A simple woman humiliated at work. Then her billionaire husband walked in and fired everyone before we. Dive in this story, hit the comments, and tell us your city or country. Let's see how far this story reaches. If you like the video, please subscribe. She brought coffee, sorted papers, and quietly worked behind the scenes, never asking for praise. Nia Caldwell was just the assistant, invisible to her high-powered colleagues. But when a VP spilled his drink on her and laughed, when HR told her to toughen up, something inside her snapped. What didn't you know? Nia wasn't just anyone. She was married to the billionaire owner of the company. And when he walked in unannounced and saw her tears, everything changed. What happens when power is underestimated, and then unleashed? Watch until the end to find out. Nia Caldwell never flaunted her last name. Every morning, she arrived early at Summit Global Investments, dressed modestly, focused, and polite. Her coworkers saw a quiet woman from a working-class background, a clerk who filed expense reports and restocked the break room. No one knew that the company's elusive founder, Victor Caldwell, was her husband. They had agreed. She wanted to earn respect on her own, so she started at the bottom with a different last name, no special treatment. She liked learning the inner workings, watching how people behaved when they thought no one was watching. But lately, Nia had noticed the microaggressions stacking up. Condescending remarks, dismissive stares. One manager even joked, "You make better coffee than you do reports." She smiled through it, swallowing the discomfort. But this ordinary Tuesday would expose more than just bad manners, would reveal the rot in the company's culture. It started during the morning meeting. Nia entered the boardroom with neatly printed reports for the executive team. She greeted everyone politely, but no one returned the gesture. As she leaned over to pass out papers, one of the senior partners, Dave Renner, muttered, "Careful. Don't mess up the tablecloth." Laughter followed. She forced a smile. Later that afternoon, Nia was walking through the hallway when she accidentally bumped into Melanie from HR, spilling a small amount of coffee on the carpet. Melanie sighed loudly, then snapped, "Of course, clumsy and underqualified. Typical." Nia apologized quickly, but her hands shook. The final blow came during lunch. She was in the break room when VP Thomas Dale strutted in, holding a cold soda. Without warning, he popped the can open, deliberately spraying it all over her blouse. "Oops," he said, grinning. "You're used to messes, right?" Everyone laughed. She stood there, drenched, humiliated. Nia walked to the bathroom, trembling, blinking back tears. She called Victor. He heard the strain in her voice, the silence behind the words. An hour later, without warning, a black SUV pulled into the parking lot. Victor Caldwell stepped out, no security, no assistance. He wore a storm on his face. As he entered the lobby, executives rushed to greet him, suddenly cheerful and respectful. He walked right past them, straight to Nia. He looked at her, at her soaked shirt, at her red eyes, then turned to the room. Silence fell. Victor raised his voice, sharp, commanding. "Which one of you humiliated my wife?" Gasps echoed. Chairs scraped back. Faces turned pale. He wasn't asking. He already knew. He called out names: Thomas, Dave, Melanie. "You're done here." Effective immediately. Security was summoned. Protest followed. It was a joke. We didn't. No. But Victor didn't flinch. You didn't know who she was. That's the problem. You treat people like dirt unless they wear power on their sleeve. Everyone watched, frozen. This wasn't just about Nia anymore. It was about a culture, one that had been allowed to rot from the top. As they were escorted out, Nia stood tall, no longer invisible. And the staff, they didn't just see the boss's wife. They saw someone they had underestimated and would never forget. The next day, A company-wide memo went out to zero-tolerance policy on discrimination, mandatory leadership training, and a bold, unexpected announcement Nia Caldwell had been. Appointed head of workplace culture, some whispered she only got the role because of her husband. But others knew she had endured what most couldn't, with grace and strength. The staff meetings changed, so did the tone in the hallways. People looked each other in the eyes, spoke with care. Nia's story spread online, sparking debate and reflection. It wasn't just about wealth or revenge, it was about dignity, because sometimes the most powerful person in the room isn't the one at the head of the table, the one you thought was beneath you. How many simple, kind, overlooked people are carrying greatness you failed to see? Which city and country are you watching from? Let us know in the comments. Take care.